Good morning. Good morning, Ash Mom. Good morning, Mama Kel. How are you guys? Good morning, Ginger. Good morning, Nicole. Thank you for the heart mate. Good morning, Princess Peach. Good morning, Best Lady. Good morning, Cinnamon. Good morning, Cat Juice. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Terry. I bet she is big mad. The sad part about it is, though, she's been, at least last night from what I saw, she was holding down 400 or 500 viewers at a time. Oh, sorry, I had a text message. Hopefully it continues to drop. It's early, you know what I mean? So I think it's not uncommon to have a lesser number of viewers in the morning. But hopefully it keeps dropping and it stays at a smaller number. Oh, that's hilarious, Nicole. I wish I could have seen that. Good morning, homegirl. Exactly. It definitely takes time. Absolutely. And consistency is everything. Maybe not. Yeah, she definitely is a track star. How is everybody today? Me too, Nicole. I am really not feeling any better, to be honest, but I will survive. Yeah, I'm working. I am stuffed up. Out of nowhere yesterday afternoon, I started feeling real hot all over my whole body. Like, it literally felt like my body was an oven. And it was it was coming off of my eyeballs. It was in my throat. It was just everywhere. And my head was pounding. And I knew it was my blood pressure. It's been happening a lot this last week. Well, I finally checked my blood pressure yesterday when I got off work, and it was 202/92. I drank some water, I laid down, and it eventually went down. But then I was so sick all night. Like, stomach-wise, I was so sick all night. And I am still sick like that this morning. I don't know. And, of course, my allergies and sinuses are not being very nice. I gotta figure out what this date is. I used to, Nicole, but I haven't been to the doctor in a while because I'm constantly having to work. And by the time I get off work, everybody is closed. And, yeah, so I'm going to have to get back to the doctor and get back on my medication. I just can't catch a break at work. They're so dependent on me, like so dependent on me. No, it's not a bug, Princess Peach. I will say my stomach issues are from my Crohn's. But just the way that blood pressure made me feel, on top of the stomach issues, it just wasn't good at all. Yeah, I'm going to be monitoring it over the weekend and see how it goes. I agree. But here's and this is going to sound so petty, I know, but what I'm having to do at work right now, there's literally nobody else that can do it. No one. And that I'm gonna have to have a talk with my manager. That's all I know, because it can't be that many things that just I can do. Whether we need to bring in more trainers or whatever the case may be, something's got to happen, because I'm literally working myself sick. Yeah, there has been, Nicole. And I'm gonna say this. I wanna say this, and then I am just going to move forward. Most of you have probably seen the video that I made last night. Here's my thing. I made a true mistake. I did. I legitimately did not know. And anyone that goes and watches that live stream, which is public on my YouTube, can hear the confusion in my voice, because I honestly did not know. I immediately took accountability. I immediately took it in as a learning experience. So many people had to learn, and I'm glad that we could learn it from each other, with each other. I apologized multiple times. Yet there are some people who are putting so much attention on an unintentional mistake that I made, that I have sincerely apologized for, that I truly didn't know about, but they're not putting any attention on what happened in that live stream that night that was intentional, that was on purpose, that they did know was offensive, and they stood 10 toes down on. Those priorities are not right. And those are the kind of people I feel like also need to be called out. Good morning, Krista. I love your face. I don't know why I can't message in that group chat, Krista. I can see your guys' messages, but I can't message. And I will say, I completely forgot to pay my phone bill last night because I felt so bad and just laid around most of the night. I woke up this morning and it was shut off, so I had to pay it, and ever since then, it's not been letting me message in it. I don't know why, but I may create a new one. Happy Friday, Kimberly. It keeps telling me to turn on RCS. I do, Diana. It's linked in my TikTok bio. I don't know if you heard what I was just saying, though, Krista. You know what has been going on, and, there's 3 or 4, they're literal fake accounts that have been putting all of this attention on my mistake. That was not intentional, that I absolutely took accountability for and apologized for. Like, it's obvious in my live stream how confused I am, because I didn't know. They're putting all this attention on me, and they're putting no attention on what those girls did in that live stream that night. And that's not okay. That is being more focused on clearly some type of beef that they have with me, and not putting focus on what's going on this app. And I'm going to be honest, I'm about to start calling these motherfuckers out, because fuck that.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Let me say this to you, okay? Everybody who's in here and a whole lot of other people know who you are. They know
I
your heart.
know.
They know how you are, okay? The people that commented on that video, if you look, the majority of them are the ones who tend to like to start shit on this app,
Mm-hmm.
okay? The problem is they don't know the people that were posting Charlie and them. They don't know them. So to them, they don't matter. Let's concentrate on who we can bring down, within the whole beg, quote unquote, beg talk community, and who they can, get into the mix. We know you are not like that. Like I said, when I sent you that link yesterday, girl, I'm not kidding. I Googled it. But when I Googled it, I spelled it JOO. And
I
I'm
didn't know
like,
how it was spelled.
yeah. I mean, and I'm sitting there, and my grandparents used to always say that. And I'm like, there's no way my grandparents would use a derogatory term. Like, what? So I did. I had to Google it, and I looked, and I'm like, holy crap. Like, okay. And I'm like, I told the girls, I'm like, I need a list. At this point, I need some type of spreadsheet where I can go in and keep all of the things that I can't say anymore. And that's where we are, and your apology, even in your video last night, like, if nobody realizes that's sincere, they don't want to.
Yeah, I agree. I
They don't
agree.
want to.
There, that's why I said this is more to do with whatever reason that they don't like me. But here's the crazy part with it. Like it's literally three or four people. They have less than 10 followers on the accounts. There's one of them that just came in right now. There are far more people that are standing beside me than there are hating.
Yep. Yep.
And
And
I feel like that says a lot. Like I can't tell you how many times I've apologized, how many times I've taken accountability. Like I love being educated
right.
so much.
Yeah.
But not everybody's like that. So the fact
Mm-mm.
that you want to again focus on me, somebody that didn't make a mistake and really had no idea, and not focus on the people that really are like that, it just shows you have some type of personal vendetta, and that's a you problem. I mean, that's
Yeah.
all that I can say at this point. I'm not going to
Yeah.
let these people run me off of this app. I mean, who are they? They're on
I,
fake accounts.
yeah. I mean, I recognize the one, which I'm really surprised that she had commented. And I'm probably gonna say something about that later. But I mean, the thing you can tell, and it's not. I'm not saying this just because I love you, because you know me. I'm right or unalive. I ain't going nowhere. But you can tell when you said that, and people were telling you in the chat, you were sincere on you didn't know that that was a term that shouldn't be used. It wasn't intentional like the others that we're trying to bring out.
Yeah.
You know, that whole group of girls was literally intentional. They knew exactly what they were saying, they knew exactly why they were saying it. And you said it, you were talking about garage sales. You weren't talking about a person, you weren't talking to a person, you
Right.
were talking about garage sales. And it was, like I said, I'm sure I'm not the only one. And
Obviously, we're not going to say it.
yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to.
And all I'll
Uh,
say is it's a word that a lot of people I guess still say today. Like I've had several people from that community reach out to me and say, I say that, I am Jewish and I say that. And I'm like, listen, I have all the respect. I will not be saying that ever again. But I will say that it is pertaining to people say it
um,
sometimes to negotiate, like when it comes to negotiating prices at yard sales. No, I will not even type it, y'all. I'm the type of person that if I find out something is offensive in that way, that word will no longer exist in my life. And it's not like it's something that I say
There
on
you
a
go.
regular basis because I don't talk about yard selling. I don't go yard selling. Like I don't have those conversations.
Well, I just put it in the chat, but I put it in the chat the way that I spelled it when I Googled it because I really didn't know that it was spelled the other way.
Right.
So there you go.
And Veronica Ann, I see your comment with your 25 followers and your 34 following. And here's the thing, babe. You're absolutely right. Everybody's feelings are valid. So valid. But here's another thing. I guarantee you have made many mistakes in your own life because you're human. I'm human. If you actually listened to that full live stream, because this is what happens when people only take clips. If you listen to that live stream, one, I was not the only person that had no idea. Two, you can hear the confusion in my voice because I literally had no idea. And three, instantly took accountability, instantly apologized, and instantly took it in as an educational moment.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make me what all of you people are trying to call me. Matter of fact, I could be the furthest from that. And you clearly have a personal vendetta, and that's a you problem, not a me problem. You need to be taking a look at these people who are purposely throwing out slurs and hate words and verbiage and standing on it, things that they know are offensive in that way. That's who you need to be taking a look at. Maybe it's time to get your priorities in line. I'm just over it. Like I'm over it. They will never convince me that I am anything other than myself, and I can guarantee you that myself is not that.
Yes. I don't. You know, this app, it's like a catch 22. If you say something you're not supposed to and you apologize immediately, you're wrong. If you say something you're not supposed to and you don't apologize for it, you're saying something wrong.
Yeah,
Like you can't win because there are just multiple people who they're not going to let it go, and that's fine. That's on them. If they want to waste their time and make burners and talk shit and come into chats and do what they got to do, so be it. But I promise you, there is enough people standing with you that what they say or what they do is not going to matter.
I know.
Hi, Billy Twin. Love you.
Morning, Max.
Hello.
Hi, Max.
So, let me ask this. Raggedy, you said a word that you did not know was a slur, correct?
Right.
Raggedy, you educated yourself after the fact as why that is a slur, correct?
Absolutely.
You apologized immediately and have not used that word again, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's where, and some people in our chat may know, yes, I do stuff on people who use slurs. Times like this, when somebody does it once, apologizes, educates, because everybody, the key to kindness and stopping these slurs is education, educating oneself, and knowing right from wrong. And that's what was done here. Now, if Raggedy decides a week from now she wants to say, as other people have said on this app, I have a freedom of speech and I'll say what I want. Y'all ain't my mama and daddy.
Hold on, Ange. Lisa Richards, fake little crap down there, says it's always white women accepting apologies for other people. Get the fuck out of here. Like, it's
Uh,
people like you that start shit. You know what? I'm sorry. Go ahead, honey. I'm sorry.
and that
What
that
did I
true
just say?
that truly is that's another wrong is you're assuming my race. You're assuming my ethnicity. You don't know my lineage. So I would do a little research and education there as well, and you will find that I do have a bloodline that is in the protected class. So I'm not being an apologist and using as called white privilege. Not at all. I'm not doing that. People can be upset. I'm not saying that it is no one's right. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be upset with Raggedy. If you are upset and you do feel offended, your feelings are valid. They are.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But understand, as a human being, when we take accountability, it should be looked at as well, as we are not repeating a cycle, okay? Because I will be the first one, and I'll say it here on a live. If Raggedy does use that slur again, which I personally believe she will not, but if she does, I I will put it all over my page.
And I would want her to. That's the thing. Like, I'm going to make mistakes in life. I have made more mistakes in my life than I can count. But I will say this: any mistake I've ever made, regardless of what it has to do with, I have always taken it as a learning experience to do better and be better the next day and moving forward thereafter. And I don't repeat the same mistakes twice. I just don't. Everybody's feelings are valid. And I've said that from the jump. Like, everybody's feelings are valid. And I think that's part of why I get so upset, because if you know me, you know I can't imagine ever being someone that offends somebody that way, because that's not me. Regardless of what people may think, that's not me. But it is what it is. I've had to deal with people, pickle juice, throwing the R word out there so many times, and I have a child with special needs. So I know what it's like to feel that way, and would never purposely make somebody else feel that way, ever. I'm just over it. Like, we're people. You know what I mean? Why? We are people, all of us. We are people. Why can't it just be that? We are people.
We are all people. At the end of the day, we all are human beings. I don't force my religion on anyone. I am religious. I believe in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Um, we are all made in God's image. As I said, this is my belief. Not one of us are better than the other. And at the end of the day, we all hurt. We all cry. We all have our own issues. But I'm hoping one day, that people will realize and people will come together to help everyone as a whole, as a human being, to understand and accept everyone, no matter your religion, no matter your trauma, no matter, the color of your skin, your disability, your ability, anything. You know, it's time. There's enough hate in this world to consume all of us. We've all got to choose our impact. And I pray that, one day everybody chooses the impact to be kind and to stop all of this. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. But one could only hope. Make your impact today a positive one. Say something positive to somebody, smile at somebody, hold a door open for somebody. You may think those are silly things, but at the end of the day, you don't know what that person standing behind you in the grocery line is going through. You don't know. And if you choose to make that your impact, I fully support you. If you choose to continue to double down and to spread hatred against protected classes because you believe it is your right, I absolutely do not support you because that shows ignorance, that shows hatred, and that shows the inability of one to change a behavior that they recognize as wrong.
And what's sad is there are people in the chat that are complaining because I'm standing against racism, because I'm not okay with things that people have said and done. There are people that are mad about that. And that is weird. You would think that people would want everyone to come together and stand against that kind of thing. But no, because if people are coming together, then they don't have their shit show to watch all day, every day. And that's the problem with this app.
Yeah, I do apologize to the people in the comments if you're commenting toward me and you feel like I'm ignoring you. I'm not. I'm riding my pony into town, so I'm not watching comments right now. And no, I am not holding my device either. I have it coming through my car, so I am safe. And those around me are safe. But I do apologize if I've missed your comments or I've missed a question or anything like that. I'm absolutely not invalidating you and I'm not ignoring you.
And Pickle Juice, you clearly are new. Tell me you're new here without telling me you're new here. To say that I claim to be above others, actually, everything that I've ever said has been the exact opposite. I ain't nobody special. By no means. Matter of fact, you have no idea what goes on in my personal life. I am far from being above anybody. One of the things that I say all the time is I am perfectly imperfect. I have many flaws. But one thing I've never claimed to be is above or better than anybody, because I'm not. Nobody is. And the fact that you said that tells me everything I need to know. And then some. So,
Well, I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna get out of the box. I have to take a family member to the doctor today. They're all good. Everything's good. Routine appointment. Um, Raggedy, like I said, you did answer my questions. You did state you apologized. You did state you would not use that term again. Um, I recognize your apology, and as I said, and I will hold to my word. Of course, if it is used again, I will speak on it, and I will. But people do make mistakes, and as well as Raggedy made a mistake, and it is, she is allowed to make that apology and try better and educate herself. Those who are offended by that word, you also are valid. Your feelings are valid. Um, I do respect, I do appreciate your feelings towards that word as well. And like I said, you are completely valid if you are upset. But everybody, just for the day, even if it's just for today, do something nice for somebody. Just smile at somebody. Make them feel better today. And with that, I'm going to drop down. I hope everyone has a blessed day.
I
And
appreciate
take
you,
care of one another because we're not promised tomorrow.
We really are. Thank you,
Love
Ange.
you.
Have a good day.
Love you, Lily Twin.
I'm just over it. I'm over this app, to be honest.
Well, I mean, I look at it like this, and Ange made a point. You educated yourself. The difference with you, though, is you educated
Hang
yourself
on,
and
Krista. Hang on. I want to respond to this person whose name is Raggedy as a racist. Actually, multiple people from that community have reached out to me. Multiple. And said, I just want you to know, I didn't find that offensive. Some of them didn't even know it was offensive, and they're from that community. So try again with your fake ass account, because you're too much of a coward to come say that with your whole chest, with your whole self.
that part.
Sorry.
Period. Dot. No, I was just saying, you educated yourself, but girl, the amount of people that you educated by making your mistake, no. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know. And if you saw the amount of people in the chat who didn't know either until just now, like,
Same that day. It was the same that day.
yeah,
Over half of the chat had no idea. No idea. And I look at that as, yeah, I fucked up. And yeah, I made a mistake, but I'm glad that not only myself, but so many others were able to be educated because I want to be educated. I want my kids to be educated. I can't tell you the amount of conversations that I've had with my kids
right.
because I want them to be educated.
But there's the difference between you and a lot of other people, Raggedy. You take accountability and you learn from it. And other people don't do that. They want to blame someone else or blame different standards. They will not hold their own accountability. That's why they don't understand why you do. And they come at you.
Okay, I turned on this app to see something I never thought I would see. Raggedy giving the apology to the masses. I can't even, I am in shock.
Oh, I knew she would do it. If she offends somebody, she owns it.
I'm not in shock she's given an apology. I'm in shock that people think that this woman has a racist bone in her body. We have a lot of us, maybe not in the younger ages, but I'm 54. And a lot of us grew up with a lot of different sayings, with a lot of different people around that are very offensive to certain communities. But as she's already said, even within those communities, not everyone is going to think it's offensive. My family, when my family gets together, we are white, we are black, we are Asian, we are Indian, we are Native, we're indigenous. We have all of this. And there are words that are thrown around within our family at those gatherings amongst themselves that would be offensive to some people. But it's not that way. It's not something we're smart enough now. Nobody uses those terms outside of our home, outside of our little cliques, our groups. But how are you to know it's an offensive term if you've never been told that before?
Exactly. What's
how are you
acceptable
to
in
know?
one conversation may not be in another.
Exactly. My father, you know what? I don't care if I get thrown off this app. I really don't give a shit at this point. My father worked for Owens Movies for 20 years. And my father, he would be asked, would say, who do you work for? Oh, I work for a black conglomerate. And people now, if he was to say that today, the man died 2 years ago. If he was to say that today, he'd be, crucified. And when my father's bosses would walk into our house because we were very close, would walk into our house, my father would yell the N-word, and they would yell comments calling him a cracker and whatever else they wanted right back because they were friends. Would they do that to strangers? No. But it wasn't meant cruelly. And I knew growing up it wasn't a bad saying. It wasn't a bad thing amongst friends. It just wasn't. But to say that she did anything intentionally wrong is wrong. And I'm so glad.
Did not.
I'm so glad that Raggedy, you can't leave this app. You are one of the bright lights, the few true good bright lights on here. You have nothing but kindness for everyone. I'm actually sitting here crying because you are crying, because you are hurt, and you don't need to be, honey. You are a good person all the way around, and everybody makes mistakes, and
Agreed.
Everybody has a bad thought once in a while. And you didn't even have a bad thought. I just want you to know we all love you. So many people love you because you are such a good person. You are smart, you are strong, and you are caring, and you are beautiful inside and out. I'm sorry I lost my temper.
I appreciate you guys. I mean, I really do. I just don't know.
But please
what to
don't say a but after that. Don't say a but. We are all here supporting you and loving you. And your platform has gotten bigger, so there's going to be more hate. But you got to take it with a grain of salt, darling.
People looking for ugly are the only people that are thinking they see ugly, because there isn't any to be found with you.
The ones looking for ugly are the ones that are ugly.
Exactly. Exactly.
Raggedy, you have made a very conscious decision to have fun on this app. And the other night, we all enjoyed a live, playing a game, having a good time. And that is the mark that you want to continue to make on this app. It was a mistake. You were very clearly confused when somebody in the chat pointed it out. You took accountability immediately, multiple times, in multiple lives. You have so many people on this app that know your heart, that love and adore you, and everybody's moving on. And that's just it. There's always going to be those people that are, looking to bother you. That's just always going to happen. We can't please everybody all of the time.
And isn't it also about that time in the TikTok cycle where every week and a half to 2 weeks is a new target? There's some other person that, oh, you've been, we haven't had enough drama. Let's pull somebody else into it. And or cause let's make someone else the problem. And it seems to be every couple of weeks that there's another person that is just, they're now awful. Nobody can be friends with them.
I've noticed so much more in the last couple of weeks with these groups of people that go live.
Yeah.
There is so much accusation. There is
Yep.
so much speculation. There is so much drama.
Oh yeah.
I don't understand it. I really don't. I don't know
It's
how anybody could want to be like that.
no.
All of these live groups where people are just, they're all sisters, they're all besties, we all talk all the time, and now they're all turning on each other.
It's like
That's
turning
happened
on
with
lights.
several groups. I went in another person's live the other day, which was the first time I ever went in a box, because they were talking about Raggedy. And I went in there. It was very, very early in the morning. I'll just put it like that. If you know, you know. And I stated that Raggedy had announced she didn't want to be a part of it. So leave her alone. And then I got
That's
dropped
a
out of the
good friend.
box.
You had her back. That's a good friend.
Oh, absolutely. When somebody's right, they're right. But when people are digging for drama and clout,
Yeah.
I will not ever support that. Ever, ever, ever. It's not right.
We all know that the more love you have, the more love you give, the more love you get. So this crap of trying to one up everybody is just so wrong. There's enough space in the world for us all to be happy.
I know,
That
and
should
it's
be
like
everybody's
everybody's just
goal.
trying to suck it all up,
I
and they
want
get jealous when somebody else has shown support.
exactly. I want everyone to be happy and everyone to be successful and do in what they choose to do. I don't need to feel, you don't need to feel better than anybody else. It's crazy.
Cool
Like,
Breeze, you're right. She is loved. She's loved because she's honest, because she's sincere. She don't sugarcoat shit,
nope.
and she is herself. Every day, she's herself. Whether you like it or you don't like it, that's your problem. That's not her problem. That's a you problem.
I want to say this, and I want to make this very clear. I don't expect, nor do I want people to accept my apology or forgive my mistake if that's not if that's not what their heart tells them to do, because forgiveness is something that should never be forced. And again, everybody's feelings are valid. But I will say this again too. Some of you people are going to eventually one day push a person over the edge. And that's not okay. Not everybody can take it. Luckily, I promise you, I deal with worse in my real life than you could ever throw at me on this app. And that's the thing. You don't know what somebody has going on in their real life.
Exactly.
But I will tell you this. If you ever make a mistake, if it's a legitimate mistake, I will absolutely forgive you. Because my God, and everybody has their own higher power, but my God wants me to forgive people. And I have to do that sometimes for my own peace and my own sanity. But at the end of the day, every single one of you are human, and not one of you can raise your hand and say you have never made a mistake in your entire life. Some of you just are too cowardly to admit your mistakes. But you know what? At the end of the day, I fucked up. And I'm sorry that I don't have all this education that some of you have. But I'm not the only one. Because we're human. But I can tell you now, you have no idea the things that I do to get more education. You have no idea.
But honey, it changes every day. What's acceptable? What's offensive? What is politically correct? What is racist? It changes every day. Every day you have a new list of things you can do and things you cannot do to be able to communicate with people in a non-offensive way. It's impossible for anybody to keep up with that.
And my
Well, and I
degrees
want
have nothing to do with this. I have an associate's degree in business and a bachelor's degree in customer relationship management. Believe it or not, they don't go over things like that. It would be great if they did. It would be amazing if they did. But there are some things that we get educated on from life experiences, and that's a fact. And I'm thankful for the education that I have gotten from this app, and I hope to continue to gain education, but I don't have to just get it from this app. I have done so much research in the last few days. I have, you have no idea. No idea. And at the
well,
end of
and
the
I
day,
yeah.
nobody has to accept my apology. Nobody has to forgive me, but I know my higher power forgives me. I know that it was a mistake. I know it wasn't intentional, and I know that I quite literally did not know. And the fact that people put me at this standard to where I should know so much more than others, you do realize that I don't even get to leave my house most of the time. Again, you have no idea what the hell you're talking about because you don't know me. You're making assumptions and you're being judgmental. But keep in mind, one of these days you're going to do that to the wrong person and you're going to push them over the edge, and that's going to be on your hands.
Well, and that's, kind of what I wanted to touch on too is, it has happened on this app. People have been bullied and pushed too far where they've done the unimaginable. And you never know how much a person can take before you push them to that limit. And it's just not right. It's just not right. And people really need to be more aware of that. And they're just not. And it's getting worse and worse all of the time. And it's sad. It's really sad.
Really quick, someone in the comments said you could be hurting the ones who brought it to her attention as well. They could be just as upset, and I want y'all to know that you are. You are. You are bothering the people who brought it to my attention, who initiated an educational conversation, because these people have reached out to me. You guys are triggering the fuck out of more people than you realize. It's crazy to me. Come at me all you want. But these other people, I'm just, I'm over it. I am over it. Because again, anybody that knows me, they know better. And I don't have to give explanations or I don't have to give examples. I don't have to do that because I don't owe these haters anything. Because some of them are, that's clearly what they just are, is haters. The people that were truly offended, from the bottom of my heart, I am incredibly sorry.
You know what?
You, at
Raggedy,
this point,
Raggedy, if you said that, and you didn't know that it was, by some people perceived that way, they explained it to you, and you have apologized umpteen times by now. You know what? I'm sorry. I didn't know better. Now I do. I'm done with it. Don't give it any more attention. Nobody,
Exactly.
let it be
listen,
done.
Raggedy,
This
listen,
is
Raggedy,
crap.
I,
You pickle,
I have
whoever the hell
muted,
you are down there,
I have
someday you're
muted
going to
two
realize you're not
people.
perfect either.
I have muted two people because it's at the point now where stop apologizing. You have apologized over and over and over. And, so for people to be coming at you in the comments still, in my opinion, is just not right. It's not right. It's bullying at this point.
It
And
is the definition of beating a dead horse.
Raggedy. No, I was there.
please listen to what Shelly has to say. Please do.
Well, let's let
That,
DMAC say what she's going to say.
Sorry, DMAC.
we were speaking out on that other. People think for 1 minute that you would speak out on that and then yet use something like that as a derogatory term. I mean, that is not what happened. And we had already moved on, and someone then called it to your attention late in the live. You had no idea, and none of us did. No one even thought anything until that person brought it up. And you took the education that they gave you with grace. You apologized then. And for someone to think that you would speak that way and then yet be speaking out on the subject is completely crazy. You would never do that. It was never meant to be anything racist at all. And I love you and I stand by you. I was there when it happened. It was never meant to be derogatory. You learned, you moved on. I knew this kind of thing was going to happen. I even said it then. It is just ridiculous that people can't say something knowing that you didn't know. There's no way you would ever speak that way. And those who don't know you wouldn't. Some of the people in the chat are going to continue to drag it on because they probably had some sort of vendetta against you to begin with.
I don't want to cut you off, DMAC, but I want to say this. I feel like this needs to be said. So, there are offensive terms and statements that are discussed often on this app where people talk about how offensive they are and how derogatory they are. They're talked about commonly on this app, right? Not one time has anybody ever heard something like that come out of my mouth. Not one time. What did come out of my mouth, I've never heard anybody bring up on this app once as being offensive until that day. So now I have that education. But I feel like at the same time, there needs to be more education when it comes to things like that. It needs to be a broader education. Because there are people out there like myself that do want to learn. And yeah, I'm going to take my own actions on the back end to learn. But this app should be less about attacking each other and bullying each other and doxing each other and more about educating each other on a broader range of things. Because not one time can anybody say that they have heard me say a derogatory term that I know is derogatory. Not one time.
Never.
But there are people who are saying those things. Where's the attention being put on that? Because they're saying them and they're saying them on purpose.
I don't want this to overpower
the good we were trying to do with the other video. I don't want it, you know what I'm saying? I don't want that people to concentrate on this instead of that.
Hey,
Good
Shelly.
morning.
Good
How are
morning.
you?
Good morning,
I'm okay.
Shelly.
So, here's what I want to say, and I mean this, and I think anyone that knows me would attest to this. I was in the live, of course. I was in a box actually, and I'm very seldom in very few people's boxes. But if your response wouldn't have been so genuine, so sincere, and secondly, I myself had never heard that it was offensive or new. It's just not a word you hear as often anymore, and I didn't realize that, so I was educated when it was said. But if there was an ounce of me that thought that your immediate immediate response wasn't so swift and so sincere, Raggedy, I think myself and everyone in this chat would have walked away.
And I would have
We
expected you to.
we love you. We stand beside you, but you cannot allow a it's probably only one or two people that are using multiple accounts to come in and to harass you. You know, Villain, I heard her speak about something one time, and people were coming at a person, and I was just listening to her, and she said, there is nothing more that can be done, and there's no higher level, basically, of apology than sincerity. You have given that, you should give that, and then let it go. Because I promise you, no one here that has been in your chats every day or, been on your lives at night, they know. They know. And I love you, but this isn't going to ruin your day today. No one has that power. No one. But I promise you, I would have been the first to step away if I ever thought that your heart would have been, to hurt anyone. And one of the other things I do want to say, guys, every day I work with youth. You would not believe how many normal words they have changed and not made for the worst. I'm not saying that, but they have changed to mean something else. Like the word, digs. Hey, you know what I mean? Like the word, there's so many words, and it's not a bad word. They just mean it in a different context. There's so many. You guys, we couldn't even keep up with all of them, and they mean them. They mean them fun. You know what I mean? Like they mean them in a great way. We've got to constantly be learning, and there are things that in our age group has always been said that now kids are feeling like maybe that word needs to be a different word. And I come into that and I walk through that and I handle it with the same way that you did, sincerity, empathy, and I pray I always receive grace because I need a lot of grace in my life. But the main thing, do not let anyone have power and control over you. Not your health, emotionally, spiritually, nothing. They don't get that, Raggedy. They get the apology, they get the sincerity, but they don't get to hurt you anymore.
I want to.
You have been.
I love you, Shell. I do. But I want to say this really quick. Exactly, Seymour Butts. So people are calling me a hypocrite because I 100% stand against things like this. And I still do, and I forever will, and you will not silence me. FYI. However, just so you know, making a mistake or having an action that contradicts your stated beliefs does not make you a hypocrite. Hypocrisy involves a deliberate or persistent pattern of inconsistency between what someone says and what they do. I'm going to be honest. I've been on this app for a good 4 years, probably. And there are two times where I have made a similar mistake. This time and one other time. One time I quoted a word off of a dumb movie, Cheech and Chong. And I took accountability for that. And I never said it again. But in 4 years, 2 times? Come on now. So now I'm racist? Are you fucking
No,
kidding
you are
me?
not racist.
No,
And I'm
no,
gonna be honest, y'all. Like these
no.
people, these people, like they'll never push me off the app. They'll never take my shine. But what it does is it makes me sad because I know I am not that person, but I know that there are so many out there that are, and those people are being given passes. Those people are being looked over simply because there are a small handful of people who have a weird vendetta against me. And at the end of the day, that's what this is. And no one will ever convince me different. Because the amount of people that have reached out to me in comments, on videos, in live chats, and on the back end in direct messages, and more people being a part of that specific community than not, they're offended by how you guys are treating me. That's what they're offended about.
That's none of your business, Raggedy. What other people's opinion of you is and what they're offended about if you didn't do anything, it's none of your business. I know that's easier said than done, but you have an honest profile, an honest agenda, and good intentions. And some people will never be able to accept that because they just don't have that mind frame.
Look at Kimberly's comment, Raggedy. It's beautifully written. It said it would only be hypocrisy if you didn't apologize and own the mistake.
Yes,
I
yes.
mean,
Exactly.
that is, she's absolutely right.
And this wasn't brought to the attention to be corrected. It was brought to the person who has been harassing you to start a lot of mess.
And they only clipped, that's something else that blows my mind. They clipped a very small portion of that live. They didn't clip any of the educational aspects of that live. They
Because
didn't.
that met their agenda. To leave out all the other stuff would meet their agenda for what they're trying to say. If they
So
showed
the
it all, people would see they're not telling the truth.
so is this
Yep.
person jealous of you and trying to take you down a notch or something? Is
I
it
just think they just simply don't like me because I'm loud. I'm gonna be honest. There are a lot of people on this app who, well, there's not a lot of people. It's really not. But there are some people on this app who just don't like me because I'm loud. Because I'm
I
not
know.
afraid to speak my voice. Because I'm not afraid to stand by what's right. Someone could be my absolute closest friend. But if they do something that shouldn't have been done, I'm going to address it and I'm going to work on that with them. I'm loud. I have a voice and I use that voice, and some people just don't like that. Some people just don't like me because they just don't. And that is all right. I don't expect everybody to like me. I don't need everybody to like me. I don't need their validation. Again, it just makes me sad because if they only knew me as a real person, then they would never say these types of things ever. If they only knew the things that I have done in my own personal life when it comes to things like this, they would not be saying the things that they are saying. They wouldn't.
Honey, you're wrong. You are wrong there. I love you, but you are wrong. Because in the first place, they were digging to find something to go against you.
Yep.
So even if they knew the whole you and your purpose and your platform and the things that you do, it wouldn't make a difference. They're still going to do what they do.
And there has to be a point that you say, okay, I've done the best I can.
Yes.
I've meant it with every part of me.
Yes.
And today I'm going to move on and I'm going to do what God has given me the gifts to do. And that's to bring joy and to love and laughter. And
Yes.
you're so gifted.
Yes.
Please
Honey, I
don't.
don't know who the hell you are, but I agree with you 100%.
Raggedy?
Thank you.
Raggedy.
Yes, Krista.
I got two questions, David. One, do you know the person you are?
Absolutely.
Okay, and all the people who support Raggedy down on the bottom, do you all know who she is?
Oh yeah.
I know who she is, and I love the hell out of her.
Yeah. Okay.
Can
So
somebody please mute Ash Rogers, please? Thank you.
She in a box?
I did
No,
already.
she was
I
in the
did,
comment.
Shell.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
I didn't
I
even see
haven't
it.
even been looking at the comments. Sorry, guys.
okay, Raggedy. So you know who you are, and we know who you are. Okay, that is all that matters. Personally, I wouldn't even address it anymore, honey. You've apologized 811 times, and we've all seen it. We all know who you are. It's not going to change our opinion of you, and your people who love you and care about you. We're the only ones that matter. Okay,
I
but
agree. And she made a video.
at this point, the lab is doing nothing but bringing trolls in. All they're doing, I don't know where they're coming from, but they're going to keep coming, and it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse.
Then that needs to be shut down.
Yeah, I'm about to have to end anyway. I've got my class starting in an hour. I want to say I appreciate all of you more than I could ever imagine. And I mean, I hope everybody has an absolutely blessed day. And I mean, everybody.
We hope you do too, and we hope that you feel the support from all of us throughout the day. Please don't let this get to you. A lot of people look forward to your content, your opinion, and your truth. Please believe that.
I know.
Can we talk about something fun for just a second?
Oh, that
How
would
are
be awesome.
Yes. How are the body butters and body scrub coming? Because listen,
Yeah.
I hate to say this, but this morning I got up, Raggedy, and I'm so mad at myself that I didn't take like a facial picture, and maybe I can find one in a FaceTime with my granddaughter or something. Because a lot of times I'll take a little picture of her and I being silly on the FaceTime. And when I don't have makeup on or something and I've just getting ready to go to bed. But and I'm not joking, and I'm not trying to sell you, but I am telling you, I'm blown away. So I know it says on there body. And I don't know that people use it on their face. But I am here let me just tell you, I'm not joking. I buy some of the most expensive serums and lotions on the market for my face. The most expensive. Because I want the fountain of youth, and it for some reason wants to escape me. And so at 55, I'm always looking. Last night I did the scrub and I used it on my face. It's wonderful. Then, before I went to bed, I put that body butter on my face, my neck, and my arms. You guys, I am not joking. I woke up just a while ago. Now, you got to remember, I sound terrible. I've had to use my inhaler. My asthma is killing me. The wind's blowing. So my face ought to be like swollen, and it ought to look like really bad, okay? You guys, I'm not joking. It is a world of difference, Raggedy. All the sagginess is gone. And it's like it hydrated my skin more than my hydrating mask that I wear. Raggedy, it's crazy.
I told you.
No, when I tell you my skin is glowing, my skin looks amazing. And I'm like you. I bought the most expensive things I could get my hands on. And my skin is literally glowing.
I was just shocked this morning. I couldn't wait, honestly, to get up and to come in here, and I was hoping you'd talk about body butter, and I was like, oh darn, because I was so excited. But I'm telling you, this is crazy.
I'd be honest, like I told Shell last night, and I've told others, when I started doing this, I had no idea what it was going to turn into, but I have a teenager, and she has had acne to the point that the doctor has tried putting her on actual antibiotics and cream. And the cream just gave her a really bad rash all over her face, and the antibiotics made her sick. Her acne is almost 100% gone, and she swapped over to using only the stuff that I make her, but the only difference is I make her stuff unscented. That's it. And it works.
So there is, and I'm not, don't get me wrong, but I want to show. So this morning, like usually there's a lot of loose skin through here. I've had it for years. And I hydrate so heavily because my skin sags as I get older. I'm 55. When I got up, guys, I've put nothing on my face this morning. And I know I look like a hot mess,
No, you
so
do
just
not.
ignore me. I haven't even brushed my hair. But guys, this is with nothing. I'm shocked.
I love that. I always
Your
love
skin looks really smooth. It looks
it
really
does.
silky.
I'm telling you guys, I have bought $300-400 face products.
Thanks.
Not joking.
Oh gosh.
And never have I had this response. I was so shocked. It really took me back. And so, like I said, sorry for this is the bad hair, but I just can't believe I don't have the loose skin.
Well, you look beautiful, Cheryl. You look beautiful, and I'm glad that you love everything. I'm glad that everybody always loves everything. I
But you
haven't
did
made.
that, Raggedy. Remember, you
I
did
know.
that.
I know.
And here's the sad part is, do you know how much joy you brought to me this morning? Like, I know it may sound stupid to some people, but
No.
like just to go, oh my gosh, like just to wake up and to look in the mirror and not go, oh,
She does
like
that for so many people.
you do. And it's not just the outside, but I'm just telling you, you know,
No, she's very relatable for the inside stuff too.
yes.
The
So
attitudes, the opinions, the heartfelt part of it, the forgiveness, the grace. She's
Her
part
mama
of that.
moments. I love your mama moments, your proud mama moments, and then when you need help because you have normal children, because not everybody's kids are perfect. I I love the fact that you're not even 40 years old and you're actively every day trying to be a better person.
Yes.
And
I
I want
know
you to read
60-year-olds
Pineapple's
and
comment.
70-year-olds
I
that
want you
don't
to
do
read
that.
Pineapple's comment because it's so important. Um, and Pineapples is right. There are a lot of us that suffer from depression, and we specifically come to your page because we know we're going to be uplifted. We're going to laugh. That is for sure going to happen.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's can bring us out of a dark place. You do that. You do that for people. And you have
Yes.
a way bigger army of people around you that support you and love you than there are these trolls.
Yep.
And you have to stay strong in that. We know who you are. You know who you are. And that is what is the most important. You bring a lot of laughs, a lot of joy, and a lot of uplifting to this app. And there needs to be more of that.
You're right. There does, and I get I do get I get a lot of messages on the back end from people when it comes to stuff like that, and that is probably the biggest reason that even though things like this make me so sad, and there are many reasons why it makes me so sad, and there are times where I get so disappointed just in this app overall, to be honest, that I want to walk away, but I won't because I came to this app for a reason, and I'm not a quitter. Like I don't give up. I'm not going to give up. It's just it's a lot. It's a lot. But I am going to move on. Again, I don't expect everybody to accept my apology. I don't expect everybody to forgive me, and it is what it is, but I can only do so much, and one thing I can do is, like I said, take that education with me for the rest of my life, but also share that education with my kids or anyone else that may need it. Because at the end of the day, there needs to be more education when it comes to these things all over the world. There absolutely needs to be. I'm not going to be silenced. I'm going to continue to stand up for what I know is right and what I know is wrong. I'm going to continue to try to make people laugh. I'm going to continue to be myself. I'm upset because I care, and that's what people don't understand. But that's fine. They have the right to feel how they feel, and I can't I can't change that. All I can do is continue to grow and do better and be better than I was the day before. That's it.
And nobody is trying to invalidate anybody else's feelings on this subject, but there's a difference between that and just straight being trolled and bullied. Those are just two completely different things.
Absolutely.
When you feel that it's getting too heavy, you need to turn around and look behind you and look at all of us standing behind you. We support you. We love you. We love how you grow and you learn from your mistakes. And several people can't accept that. So they have to go dig and pick apart everything else to still find something wrong. And you can't fix people like that. They're never going to change.
Only thing that I can, it goes back to uh, we have to accept the things we cannot change and find
Yes.
strength to change the things that we can. And I stand by that. And that's
There's some kind of truth behind that serenity prayer, or it wouldn't help so many people.
absolutely. That serenity prayer has saved me more times than I can count. But I do have to get off of here. I have an hour until this class starts, and I'm not looking forward to it. This is not a fun training that I'm doing by any means. But I love you guys. I really do. I love all of you, even the ones that were not nice.
I hope so too.
I love you guys. At the end of the day,
We love you, baby girl.
I don't have to like someone to love them, and I want the best for everyone. So I hope nobody got blocked. I know people were muted, but you guys know how I am when it comes to block people.
I did not block anybody. They were
I didn't block
muted.
anybody.
Okay,
But I love you. I love you with my whole heart. You know that. Text me if you're feeling down. But like Shell said, nobody can ruin your day. You make that decision. Now pick yourself up, dust yourself off, wipe your tears, put a smile
Pick
on
up
your
your
face,
sucker.
and have a beautiful Friday. You
And I
deserve
love
it.
what
You
Rose
deserve
said,
it.
Green Eyes. Do you see Rose? Look at Rose.
You
If you need
apologize,
a
so
extra
all you
support,
can from
reach
here
out
is
to
give it to
anybody,
God.
Raggedy.
Everyone has their own cross to carry.
Yep.
Absolutely right, Rose. 1,000%. Absolutely right. We
And
are
thank
not
you.
made perfect. Nobody is made perfect.
Boop Snoops, I see you in the comments, and I have been seeing everything that you've been saying, and I want to thank you, one, for sharing your opinion, because you're right. Not everybody's gonna have the same opinion, and I'm big known for having that unpopular opinion. I can't tell you how many times I've made a video that has had to start with unpopular opinion. But the fact that you had that opinion and you were respectful, I appreciate that. I like to hear differences in opinion, but I'm not going to allow disrespect when I would never intentionally be that person ever. And I know that. And most people know that. At the end of the day, again, I can only control the behaviors and actions of myself. I can't change or control another person, but I can control how I allow it to affect me.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna go back to doing what I've been doing. You're not gonna silence me on this app, people. You're not. Again, if you only knew half the shit I've been through in real life, what you're doing, while it does make me sad, it makes me more sad that the world is the way that it is than it does your words cutting me. Just so you know. But I do gotta go, y'all. I need to
Have
wash
a
my face.
blessed
Go
day.
have the day
Have
you
a blessed
deserve,
day.
and that day is a day full of laughter and smiles. So try to find something in this boring class you have to teach.
Yeah, I will. I
Something
mean, they're
fun.
just quiet, and I don't like quiet. You guys know me, I'm loud.
Yeah.
We love you much.
I love all of you guys. Thank you
Have a
again
good
so
one.
much. And I'll be back live tonight. It's not over. Bye, guys.
I love your face.
Love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.